Hey everyone, this is Kevin from thechesswebsite.com. Today we're going to be going over the Dutch defense. And the Dutch defense is a defense against the queen pawn opening, which is White's opening move of d4. Um, and as I've talked in different videos, you want to have a few different defenses that you can use against any White opening. For instance, you need to have a couple defenses that you know pretty well against the pawn e4 opening, against the English opening, the c4, and the very popular d4 pawn opening that we're going to go over today. So there are definitely many options. Today we're going to be going over the Dutch defense, which is just pawn to f5. And if you've never studied it, it may look a little odd to you, but it actually plays pretty well and gives black quite a good amount of counterattack, especially on the king side. As you can imagine here, we're already starting to pawn storm the king side. And what black does from the very beginning is attack the center with one of his pawns that's not on the e or d square. In this case, it's the f pawn. Now, obviously, black's key weakness square at the beginning of any match is the pawn on the f7 square. But we're basically taking that pawn and attacking immediately the center at e4. White would obviously like to play e4 right away to gain center control, but we have taken that option away. Obviously, he can gambit this away and give it to us for free. But we are staking center control, and I actually like to play this every now and then. It kind of has that feel if you're used to playing the King's Gambit as White. It basically you're opening up this f file. Eventually, you'll get rid of this f pawn. Hopefully, do some damage with it. But then once you castle kingside, you'll have this rook nicely placed on the f file. And as with the King's Gambit, you're down a piece. As black here, you never really go down in material. So to be even in material for me, and to have a rook nicely placed on a semi-open f file once this pawn is gone, and the rook can kind of rain down on the king side. I actually like this defense, and also just because White's just not too familiar with it as far as how to counter. Seeing the Dutch, a lot of people play the Queen's Gambit accepted lines, the Queen's Gambit decline lines, but a lot of people don't play the Dutch. So a couple different variations that you will see from here. Many times White will fianchetto their bishop on the king side, so a lot of times you'll see White bring their bishop to g2 after their pawn is developed to the g3 square. Or a lot of times you'll see White just merely come to the c4 square, kind of the backwards English opening, and then they'll bring their knight to the c3 square after their pawn is on the c4 square. But either way, it doesn't really matter. The moves I kind of like, and I'll kind of give you the background on why I usually play them. First one's just going to be e6, and it's a here we'll go ahead and choose move for White. Here we'll say he fianchettos his bishop. First move I like is e6, as I said, and the reason I like this is twofold. One, it keeps White from continuing to march down my throat here at d5. Obviously, White can come to c4 and then try to push up. It also gives a little bit of protection to this f7 square. White can always fianchetto his bishop and then bring it along this diagonal here. But we, right now, have a little defense from the e6 square. So as you can see, since we have this pawn on e6, our light square bishop here on c8, more than likely is going to come to this b7 to g2 diagonal. It's going to come to this long diagonal here. Obviously, it's only going to happen once the fianchetto bishop is blocked off, maybe by the knight or something. But more than likely, since our light square bishop is blocked off here, you need to notice where your bishops are going to go. So if he's blocked off, he's not going to go this way for the time being. So we'll go ahead and continue and look at the different lines here. So White fianchettos his bishop, and from here I like bringing the knight to f6. obviously develops another minor piece. Your minor pieces are your bishops and your knight. It adds more pressure to the e4 square. Obviously, white has an attacker here on the e4 square with his bishop, and now we have two attackers on the e4 square with our pawn and our knight. And you can already see we kind of have an attack coming down on the king side. So white can continue play here. He can bring his knight into the action. He can bring his pawn into the action. C4, you'll see a lot. And from here, I just like the simple move, bishop to e7. A lot of times you'll see black bring his bishop, try to pin our knight to the queen. So even if he does that, doesn't matter. I like to bring our bishop to the e7 square. I feel like it's a good place, and also at the same time it's being developed, and we can castle next move and have a safe place for our king. And then, like I said before, our rook is on this nice long f file that we can rain down. So you can already see from here, you might see white go knight to c3, and just looking at here, you can kind of see the themes that we have going on here. White has a little better center control. He's got two pawns here on the c and d square, basically controlling on the fifth rank here, along with his knight and his bishop. Obviously, white's going to bring his knight to either f3 or e2. He's going to castle kingside. And he's got a lot of center control. Black does not. He's got some pawns here on the E and the F files, along with his knight, but he doesn't have quite the center control that white does. But also, black has started to come down and attack slightly on the king side of white. So keep that in mind. Like I said before, obviously we will want to bring our knight into the action. We can always pawn storm the queen side, so if you want to build up an attack, obviously you want to be careful and not make a move like b6 and open up your rook here. But you can always, you can even break it open with a move like c5. Your bishop on e7 is protecting this piece. Just kind of give some center protection there. You can decide which way you want to bring your queen into the action. More than likely he's going to come to the queen side. He's kind of blocked off on the king side. But you definitely have a lot of different options. There are a few more variations. Later on in videos I'm going to go over those. But these are some of the key concepts. A lot of people like to fianchetto their king bishop to the g7 square, but this is kind of how I like to play the Dutch defense, and this is kind of why I like to play it and how I like to play it. So hope this helped a little bit for those looking for a little bit of analysis on the Dutch defense. Hope you guys enjoy. Please subscribe to the videos. It helps out a lot. Leave comments, concerns, anything you want to know about, learn about, and check out other videos. Let me know what you think. Check out the website, and I'll see you guys next video. Thanks a lot.